Hey, this is me building and strategizing a $2 million a year company in public. Last month I made 128 grand in profit. Next month I want to hit 167. And the way that this works is I start off with some Q&A. Then I do a little bit of brand stats. I basically show you how much my brands have grown in the last 24 hours. Then we wrap it up with some strategy. And today I'm going to have some very real strategy to do because I've been pushing off a couple of tasks, and I'm going to use essentially this video as a form of daily accountability to get things done. So I actually was just starting to record this, and then I realized that I hadn't actually turned the recording on. So I've already gone ahead and answered one of the questions, but I'm going to recap it for the benefit of everybody here. The first QA was from Elixist, who says, "Hey Nick, really loving these videos. Some crazy valuable insights every day for a beginner entrepreneur like me. Here's a bit of a technical cue. Is it possible with the current technology to build an AI version of somebody, like an Alex Hormozy, for example, using data from his YouTube channel, books, etc., and some sort of a chatbot to be able to talk to this AI version? I'd assume you'd need to use a RAG, retrieval augmented generation of some sort, but would there be a straightforward way of building that database? Could also be a very interesting main channel video." So yeah, that'd be pretty cool to do, right? The reason why I haven't already is because I find that there's very little business utility in this stuff. They tend to just like work 80% of the time, and then the response quality is pretty poor. So, like the vast majority of this functionality, I think, is below the level where businesses would pay for it. And so obviously my channel is all about businesses or strategies and systems that businesses will actually pay money for, hence why I haven't really done it. But, I could definitely cover the simplest and straightforwardest way to get up and running with this on your own if you just wanted like a hobby project, or maybe if you see an opportunity to monetize that I don't necessarily. This can get you started on the right foot, and then you can take it and do something cool with it. So the way that this works, really, retrieval augmented generation, is essentially you feed in a bunch of text into a database, and then the database will index the text. That's just a fancy word, basically, for transforming it into numbers. So now it's some machine readable number code in some very high dimensional space. Usually, it's kind of neat how this works. So they'll index it, they'll embed it, which is where you generate this big long vector string. Big long vector. And then essentially what you do is, the way that RAG works is you will call a normal language model like GPT-4, okay? But then in addition to your call, what you'll do is you'll actually also search through this database to retrieve snippets of text that are pretty similar to what you're asking for, almost like you're Googling over a database. And then you just give that to the model and you say, "Hey, based off of this data and your built-in intelligence, what is the answer?" Okay, so that's kind of how RAG works under the hood. Let me actually draw out a quick diagram, because I realized I didn't do that before, and maybe some people will find some value out of this. So RAG stands for retrieval augmented generation. Now, retrieval here, you can basically think about it as you're just Googling over your own data set. So user inserts a query. Actually, let's do this this way. So user inputs query, right? Then what happens next is query searches database, just like a Google. We'll just go mini Google. You're mini Googling over your own data set. And then we find X matches, however many matches you want. Then what you do is you actually insert those matches into the prompt for the LLM. Okay? And then, the LLM answers your question. So what actually happens is, we have a bunch of text here in a document. And then we run our little Google snippet thing. Just have a lot of tabs here. I'm using a new recording method. We're doing a screen studio today. And then, the query will search this database. This is our database. We'll then find the snippet of text that we're interested in, which is right over here. Okay, or maybe there's multiple matches. There's 3 matches or something. 1, 2, 3. Then we actually feed it over here. So now we have, match 1, match 2, and match 3. Then what we do is we just feed this into our normal prompt. So, we'll say you are an intelligent whatever, right? Writing assistant. And then we'll say, I want you to do X. Use this data to answer. So this is actually what happens under the hood in RAG. And then we just insert that over here. Okay, so this is like document 1, this is document 2, and this is document 3, whatever, snippet of text 3. So that's why it's retrieval augmented generation, because you're still doing some generation, like through just a large language model call, ChatGPT or whatever. All you're doing is you're just adding some text, basically. You're snipping it onto the prompt. So Variety of ways to do this. The simplest way, the only way I'm going to cover here, and this is actually what I was just recording when I was like, oh shit, I should probably turn on the camera, is using the OpenAI assistant. So this is in Playground. If you guys are unfamiliar with Playground, just go platform.openai.com/playground/assistants. You'll be right over here. Basically, what you do is just like in any other LLM, you define the instructions over here. So this is me. I was trying to, I think, do a demo for my community, trying to show them how I could make a response management bot and how they might, be able to do something like this on their own if they wanted to have a RAG system pull from their emails. So this is more or less, these are the rules. This is the template for my response. And then I say something along the lines of, everything about Nick Saraev's products and services through provided text files. Okay. So basically, underneath tools, we then go file search, we turn that on, and then we add a file. And so what I've done over here is I've just created a text file off of one of my blog posts. So I copied this whole thing in here without formatting. So I held Command, Shift, and then V. Then I deleted a bunch of stuff that I don't think is hyper relevant. And then, down over here. You can do this or you can keep this. It really doesn't matter too much. I mean, text tokens are very cheap at this point. Then I just saved this I downloaded this, I should say, as a text file. So now that I have it as a text file, I move over to Assistants Playground and I just upload said text file right over here. Then uploads to my vector store and it just does all this stuff for me automatically. I don't need to think about it. Now I'm just going to delete this. I've already done the uploading. Okay. As you can see over here, I asked what are 3 components to a great high ROI automation? Then it actually went through and it found them. There are 3 components to great high ROI automation. There's a clear deliverable. It solves a hot button pain point, and you can template most of it, right? So it actually does this. Let's see, what other text is there? Let's see. What is a pressing problem? So now I'm going to run it. Because this is an assistant requires a little bit more time usually to answer. So as you can see, it's running the retrieval right now. It's now using my template. A pressing problem refers to anything that impacts your ability to generate revenues. Go back over here. Pressing problem is anything that impacts your ability to generate revenue. And then voila, you basically have like your own RAG-enabled chatbot, which is pretty cool. Now, there are a bunch of services out there that I believe allow you to just run assistants through. I think you can just run the chat base backend. I think you can also do, BotPress, OpenAI Assistant. I think you can just like one-for-one connect this to the output. I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest. Or they may already have like their own RAG or something because they don't want you to use the OpenAI assistants and they want to be able to charge you for it or whatever. But, check it out. There are many ways to embed this sort of thing onto your website or onto your service. Again, I don't really find it very valuable, which is why I don't sell this thing for businesses. But chatbots are increasing in popularity and functionality for sure. So maybe there's some potential there. Hopefully that answers your question. Thank you very much for asking it. If there's any other questions that you have that are related to this, feel free to drop them down below. It looks to anybody else. All right, Joe.4pf says, loving the value you drop in these videos. I run a marketing agency where I help people scale their business. I signed my first client in the fitness and wellness niche. He has just over 1K followers on Instagram. Nice. I wanted to ask, how can I expedite the growth of his Instagram page to the extent you have with your new page, which hasn't even been up for a month yet, but is already at around 20K followers? Pretty cool, huh? Any advice related to the structure of his content? Any automations applicable to post his reels for him, and just any tips to help you grow so quickly would be much appreciated. Awesome. Well, I mean, it's hard to say because I don't know who this guy is. I'd like to, like if you wanted to drop it or something, I could have definitely done a roast, just FYI. And if you guys want me to do any sorts of roast, just drop them down below. I love doing those things. But yeah, so related to the structure of the content, I guess, I don't know. I'm not like a Reels pro. I mean, I'm working with an editor who assists me with this. Our scripts are very simple. We basically just have a hook. Here, let me see if I could find some. Now we're doing AI news, so you got to understand that like our niche is already extraordinarily in demand and interesting, and there's inherently a lot of fascination right now. So that's number one. But basically, very simple structure is we just do a hook. So there's a new free AI video generator like Sora that you can run locally on your computer. Is this the best hook ever? No, it's probably a pretty crappy hook. But the most important thing for us in the first month was just getting up and running, getting our first 30 posts out there, and we'll worry about optimizing it over the course of the next few months, right? Free AI tool. You don't need ChatGPT Premium anymore. OpenAI just launched ChatGPT Tasks. There's a new completely free AI model. 2025 is going to be the year of AI agents. So these are all just short little hooks. Sorry, just in terms of from an editing perspective, I don't know, it's just like a standardized zoom in, like 2025 is the year of AI agents, right? Nothing magical. And then usually after you present your face and you deliver the hook, you just dive right into some other visual, which, is attention grabbing. And so in our case, we get to do this um, rather simply. And I don't know, we just posted this earlier, so this one only has 800 views. Let me find one that has like 61K. Okay. So this is a good example, okay? So this is the hook right here. See that? Boom, hook done. Now this actually is kind of untraditional, but whatever. We did the hook, and then we're just jumping over to the specific software platforms. We're trying to show my face because we want to consolidate the brand and associate all of this value with my face, because I like when people see me and they're like, oh, that guy, I remember him. He delivers good shit. We have a couple of templated editing. We have a couple of templates, so we have that little like lens flare effect, and that's just what we use between most of them. And then in this case, I think we were experimenting, or my editor was experimenting with like a split screen thing. You see if there's maybe something that isn't all split screen. I'll show you one of the very first ones that we did. This one has 500K. Okay, never mind. So it turns out the split screen is the main one. I'll be real, I don't watch all of the, there you go, there you go. This is I think a better example of like the classic one. So you start off with, boom, I just started with my hook. Then I show a bunch of things in quick succession, which is the data that I'm providing. We have a couple little edits and animations and stuff like that are fine. And then we move into some split screen thing. At the very end, what we do is we pitch, and then it's back to a full face thing. I don't exactly know how you'd be able to do that in the fitness and wellness niche, to be honest, but that's more or less my structure. Aside from that, posting strategy wise, post every day minimum. So try and do every single day for as long as you can. I think that the ideal on Instagram is actually more than once per day, to be honest. But again, we're just doing once per day because we want to get the ball rolling. And then just focus on accumulating small wins as much as humanly possible. There are apps out there like ManyChat, for instance, that will automate the reply of giveaways. So that's what we're using when somebody says something, when we ask for them to comment model, they comment model and then we reply, right? Hey, just hit your DMs. And then the benefit here is if you check out the number of comments on here, it says 1,944. Well, there's actually only 977 comments. The other 977 are me commenting back. So you get the perception of like a very engaged post, which is cool. What other things have I discovered? Yeah, when it comes to news, like we have our own scraping strategy where we'll scrape trending news posts and then dump them in. And that's great, right? I think if you want to do like fitness news, I don't really know what you could do, to be honest. Fitness and wellness niche. Like, meta level advice is pick an exploding niche, obviously. But also, followers are great, but they're not really the most important thing, right? It's like the money that you make from the followers. So there are many Instagram pages out there that have like 1,000 followers, not 22,000 now. And then they make like probably 10x the money that my Instagram page is making off of those followers. So you have to keep in mind that like there are optimal strategies that do different things. In my case, I'm going mad top of funnel because I have a bunch of like higher converting evergreen content in the middle of my funnel. And I'm just trying to maximize the number of people at the front and then have them like organically come to that middle and make themselves like me and make themselves want to buy the product. But, if this fitness and wellness niche page is doing most of its business through Instagram, I think your content is going to be a little bit different than what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the structure of the content. No automations to post the reels. I have a feeling that Instagram limits API call automation posting, so I wouldn't do that. And then, yeah, hopefully those are the tips that allow me to grow so quickly. And then obviously you just need to have a lot of goodwill. Like I built a lot of goodwill because a lot of the people on Instagram they know me. They've seen my face across YouTube and thumbnails and stuff. And like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. And then they give him a click. So, I don't know. That's, those are my recs. Okay, Sinatra Foreign, last one I'm going to answer here. So damn, I'm all over the place in this video. Yeah, I think you are. I don't know if I mentioned this already in some video, but Nick, have you ever considered creating a WAP community for clipping your long form videos into shorts or reels? You post a bounty for people to create shorts, set the rules for eligibility, pay them $1 per 1,000 views if it's eligible. Usually results in 3 to 5 shorts, depending on quality. Higher quality ones might get around 15K views per short. A lot of people in the SMMA community, even rappers like Drake and Ken Carson, use them to promote their songs and videos. Your shorts editor can even create a course for these clippers and check if they're eligible or if their views are legit or not. What do you think? This sounds pretty cool. I really like this idea. My issue with this is, I don't know, like a dollar per 1,000 views. If I get 1 million views, I got to pay $1,000 for it. That kind of sucks. I don't really know if I want to like do something that scales that linearly. I could also see like the potential for abuse. But I can also see this just being like a really low effort way of getting high quality reels. So if you're comfortable paying a little bit more money to get something done and to get a bunch of different styles done, and maybe if you already have some big wide network, then I could see this making sense for sure. In my case, I've now hired people to work with me. So I presumably have consistent work. I guess we'll see the quality and stuff soon, but I don't really think it would make sense right now. But, I'm probably going to try that out. That sounds really interesting, actually. I've never even heard of this. So let me see if I could just write this down. Let's go. Not Godspeed. What did I want to do? Check out WAP communities for short form editing. Yeah, that seems pretty cool, honestly. Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to leave it there. And well, actually, let me just really quickly heart a bunch of people that thank me. Thank you guys. Thank you very much, Marlon. Much appreciated. I'm using a Presentify. It's an app on Mac. Julius, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Lauren. I appreciate it. People are calling me handsome. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it, Eric. Thanks, Steve. That's the first time I've ever seen me falter on camera. Happens all the damn time. Cool. Awesome. So I'm just going to work my way up in the next few videos. Really appreciate everybody's time so far. It's been great, being able to answer your questions and build them out. Let's do some brand stats really quickly. It is currently February the 26th, 2025. And let's start with my daily updates channel, which I think was at 800 and something, right? So doing analytics here, 864. I don't know why this is 849. This is 864. Looks like the growth has been pretty solid. I mean, like this is the exact same thing that happened with my main channel. I posted every day and then I got like 0 views for like 2 weeks. And then the third week, it was just like, oh, boom, 500, 700, a million, 8 trillion. And then I became, then I bought myself the feedback. Okay, actually, it looks like my subs have gone up by 2 in the last 3 minutes. So I'm just going to copy the new one over. 866, so we're up by 33. Definitely slower growth for sure. We had that peak 179. My idea is, like what I think happened is I'm not running out, but I had a big spike when I mentioned the video in one of my main channel videos. And so there's some percentage of people that immediately subbed, presumably the people that really like me and, can listen to me yap on for hours without many issues. And then that died down. And now we're, back to like organic growth levels, which is fine. I mean, 30 new people a day subscribing to the channel, still crazy. Okay, my Instagram, so we just saw a moment ago, 22,000 something. So, oh, sweet. I'm out in Halifax, right? And one really cool thing that not a lot of people tell you is if you are on trips, you can write them off as a business expense if you meet somebody, right? Do some consulting or something. So just going to meet somebody for coffee and do a little bit of consulting for them, not pro bono, maybe a couple bucks, we'll see. And then I'll be able to, write off a big chunk of the trip and like me being here as business. I am doing business every day. I do recordings and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of neat. So if anybody else is in Halifax watching this, by any means, I'd love to meet up over the course of the next few days. 53,195 here. So this is the slowest day in quite a while. 184 in the last 24. So haven't had a day that shitty since February the 9th, meaning it's been over 2 weeks since a day that shitty. I think I got a couple reasons for that. The YouTube video did not hit. That video did not hit at all. Essentially, to make a long story short, I published a video on why you shouldn't use YouTube to grow your AI and automation agency initially. And I had a lot of people kind of laugh and be like, Nick is just trying to crush a competition here. Which is not, that was not the point.
Music. It makes us
damn, this guy got 420K subs. Nice, man. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get as much love on YouTube if I'm talking about how you shouldn't use YouTube, right? Everybody here is biased on wanting to use it. But I stand by the point that I was trying to make, which is that there are much straighter line paths to making money if you're a total beginner on in the AI automation agency niche than trying to start a channel. Looks like Alexandra is growing quickly, 1.7K. Nice work. Yeah, awesome. And, I think you guys just got to realize that, like, we are in a packed ass niche. Nice work, Quinn. We're in a packed ass niche. Sorry, not packed, a super busy, growing, exploding niche. And so it's going to be a lot easier for us in this niche than it will for anybody else. Not to say you shouldn't try capitalizing on it, but yeah, you can't exactly take this approach. You can't exactly take this approach anywhere. And this is just such a short-term opportunity that you're much better off like building an actual business than you are necessarily trying to build like an empty brand. It's almost like it's like blowing up a balloon, right? The only thing inside of it is air. Sure, your balloon might be nice and sexy and cool. It might be the shape of some clown or animal or something, but the thing inside is just sort of air. Don't blow balloons. Make statues. And I'm gonna leave it there before I make more of an ass of myself. So that's brand stats. Slow day for sure. Very slow day. Slowest day for a while. But that's all right. We're gonna do a little bit of daily strategy here. Take advantage of this nice lighting and record a little bit longer of a vid. I got a couple things I want to cover today. First thing I want to cover is I want to cover my new recording setup. I'm using what's called Screen Studio. In case you guys aren't familiar, it is an app that, like, you probably noticed my cursor is different. It's an app that just records both your screen and your camera, and it allows you to extract and export both. So I can now extract my camera stream, and then I can also extract my recording stream, and then I can export this video as a combined file as well, which kind of kills three birds with one stone. There are usually a few issues with this, I find. One, anytime you're using some sort of third-party app that does a lot of the work for you in the background, and then you record a really long video, like I tend to do, where mine are at least 20 minutes of me just talking, the likelihood of some issue happening with the encoding or whatever tends to go up. And so I'm just waiting for the next time that I have this sort of issue, and hopefully it doesn't happen super often. But anyway, from what I can see right now, Screen Studio, for my purposes, now that I have an editing team behind me, is definitely much better than OBS Source Record. But if anybody has any other recommendations on ways that I could get just a talking head file as well as a combined screen share file without any additional work for me, then please let me know. So I'm using Screen Studio, but because I've chosen a different platform, I have to do a couple of things in order to make this system work. So this is my content management system for the short strategies that I'm doing. If you haven't heard of the short strategies that I'm doing, basically I'm going to be posting 150 times a month across 5 fan channels. There's going to be like Nick Saraev Motivation, Nick Saraev Reels, Nick Saraev Shorts, Nick Saraev Fan, whatever. And the way that it's working now is I had a podcast with Jack Roberts jump in here, and I exported 3 files here. There's a raw one of me, raw one of him, and then just sort of like the split video that you could see both of us. And my idea is I'm going to convert this into a number of shorts. It looks like the editors have gone through and they found 5. So, I mean, it says 4. I think they probably created one more. Let me just refresh this and see. Yeah, looks like they're going through and they're doing it kind of as we speak. So they've identified one at 2611 to 2712, 2741 to 2854, 1913 to 2019, 2110, and then 2246, and then 1152, 1244. So this is going to be pretty cool seeing how this goes. I'm stoked about it. Obviously, we're missing some fields, so I'm just going to have to double check with my guy about how all of that is going. And I think we should use the assignee field as well as add in a comments field, just because I have a feeling there's going to be some back and forth. So I'm just going to add that in. We'll put comments over here on the right because I don't really think it's that important. We'll also make the title just a little bit smaller. You don't need to see a bunch of empty space here. I would like to see the drive.google.com, so let's leave it there. And I'm just going to select Reels for now. I don't know if that's actually correct, but I just want to be able to make all this stuff smaller. And this comments here, if I were to leave a test comment, I just want to see how this would look usability-wise. Yeah, that looks pretty reasonable. Cool. So I can now just get rid of this. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Today, we're actually going to have content, which is awesome. I will show it to you guys afterwards. I've already shown you all a demo in a previous video. Obviously, the content's really high quality, but we're actually going to have those up and running. The issue is I have a make.com automation right now that makes this non-trivial to work with. Basically, my automation is set up to dump in files one by one right now, but it's looking like I'm not going to be doing this one by one as much as I'm going to be doing this as like uploading multiple files. So I'd like to just like have multiple one folder with multiple things inside. So new upload, watch files in a folder. Am I not using the right account or something? What's going on here? Weird. Let's do this July 19th one. Oh, February 15th one. Screw it. Okay, so we're watching files in this folder. The maximum number of results to be worked with during one execution cycle is 1. I wonder if I could just change it to 3, and then aggregate, create the parent folder. If I could just go through and I could, okay, just make it so that, like, what I want to happen is I basically want to, when new file uploaded. I'm going to check this once every 4 hours, so it's not super important. When new file uploaded, I want to get all of my results. So I may have result number 1, result number 2, result number 3. So I want to aggregate all of these into one bundle. Then I want to create a parent folder. And I think I'm just going to grab the title of the first file, make that the parent folder. Then I'm going to, underneath, create a source folder. Then I'm also going to create a deliverable folder. And then I just need to move all of the uploads to the source folder. I don't really know how I'm going to do that, but whatever. Let's build that out because it's one thing that I have to do today and I need to get that sorted. So let's see what happens when I get 3. Okay, I really do need to update these permissions, it looks like. Otherwise, it won't shut the hell up. So let's do that. And then let's try testing this out on 3. Just because I have no idea what this limit thing means, to be honest. I mean, I think it's going to return multiple bundles. I'm pretty sure. But we got to try it out. Just right-click, choose where to start. We'll go all. I'm going to run this. Doesn't look like we're getting anything. Let's choose manually. No items available? Really? No items? That's odd. There should definitely be items. Maybe it's because I'm using a new connection. Yeah, probably. I think I changed connections from the other one, and it's just not. So let's do this. I'm going to go back here to where it says footage. I have multiple that say footage, so that is probably going to be an issue. And then I'm just going to upload my text file, the one that I just created earlier. I guess I need to do 2. So actually, let me duplicate this. And then I'm going to go back to recents. I'm just going to grab both of these, and I'm going to upload them. Because these are text files, presumably they'll be very fast. Beautiful. And now I will right-click this, run this module only. It looks like it did indeed grab 2 bundles. That's fine. Got the title somewhere around here, right? 5 more automations you can sell. Cool. So what I need to do is, just because I'm probably going to be uploading more than one file at a time, I'm probably going to be uploading this file, which is the screen recording, and then I'll also have just my face. I want to aggregate these. So I'm just going to go over here and type flow control array aggregator. This is going to get multiple bundles. It's just going to aggregate them into one, aka into an array. So now I should be able just to right click, choose where to start, go all, and then I should be able to run this again just as a test. Now, if you've seen me build stuff out in make.com, you'll know that I basically always do it one step at a time. So I'll add one module. I'll see how that module is. If it's what I want, if it's good, then fine. And now I have an array with 2 collections, which is cool. But I have one bundle that's output, right? So because I have one bundle that's output, realistically, what I can do is I can create a parent folder. The name of this parent folder is just going to be the first element that I drop in. Okay, so it'll be array. I'm going to go name, which is this right here. And I'm just going to go 1. I'm going to index it, and I'm only going to grab the first file, which is fine because I have a naming convention where I just name them all the same thing. So voila. I'm going to share the folder, role writer, anyone, cool. Then I'm going to create a source folder. The location of the source folder is going to be not in fan shorts management. What I'm going to do is I'm going to map the parent folder here. Cool. The new folder's name is going to be source, share folder, sure, cool. Deliverable folder, I'm going to have to create the deliverable folder in the same folder that I did a second ago. And I just want to use the same module as the source for it all. So I'm just mapping module 3, not module 6 here. It'll be called deliverable, cool. Was it writer everyone or reader everyone? Let me just double check. Yeah, it was writer everyone. Then I'm going to move the uploads to the source folder, basically. So now that I've aggregated them all, what I need to do is one by one for every item in this aggregated bundle, I have to iterate through those, and then I have to upload them to the source folder. So the input for this iterator is going to be this aggregator. Over here, feed in the array, and then as an output of the iterator, I should now get all of the items. And what I want to do is I want to move all of these IDs over to my new folder location. The new folder location is going to be my source folder over here. It's going to be the same one every time. Should be good. And then after that, what I want to do is I need to aggregate this again, because technically I'm going to be doing multiple calls, right? Multiple bundles again. So I'm going to use the source modules, my iterator. There should be gray between these two now. I'm just going to aggregate all the fields like I did before. Cool. And then for ClickUp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a task, but I'm going to create a task with only the first task name. So I'm going to go all the way back here to where it says array aggregator. I'm going to drag the name in and I'll do 1. The source folder will be here. Deliverable folder will be there. Okay, looks good. All right, so now that I'm done with all this, why don't we actually give this a quick run and see what happens in ClickUp. So what is the expected behavior? I should just create one ClickUp row with a source folder, which has 2 things inside of it. We should have the main file plus the copy file. And both of these are little txt files. So I've already uploaded these here. I'm going to be caching them. Basically, I'm going to be running based off of old data. So after I run, these should disappear, right? Just logically. Let's choose where to start. I'll go all again. And then let me just run this once. Got the uploads. We've aggregated them. We're now just creating a bunch of Google Drive folders. We're now iterating through, moving the first upload to the source folder, moving the second upload to the source folder, aggregating the bundles again, and then we're creating a task. If I look back here, I have nothing. I go into ClickUp, I have this, which looks good. Most importantly, if I go to the source folder, nice, I have this. Cool. This should be everything that I need now. So I've now modified the system to basically work for me. There's one more change I'm going to make. I think I'm just going to assign the manager to this, Argentiva Ops, my buddy. I think I'm just going to assign the manager to this, and that way he can do the stuff. So I'm going to choose to start from now on. Cool. Go back. And voila, it should work. Fingers crossed. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. But looks like there were still a couple of bugs that I hadn't really noticed. Okay, great. So that's done. I need to make a little more progress on a few other things. So let me just delete this so nobody gets confused. So I can just get rid of this. Then I can actually just, anyway, let's just call this recording footage flow. Editor project management flow. Yeah, so I knocked that out. That's cool. Next thing I want to do is I need to come up with some much better way to organize my blueprint library, because I've been dragging my feet on this for like 3 days. I meant to do it like a week ago, basically. And then a couple things happened. I didn't end up doing it. And then I meant to do it a few days ago. A couple things happened. Didn't end up doing it. So I'm having some issues with the blueprint library side of things. I also need at some point today to record another YouTube video, and I don't actually have any ideas. So I'm probably going to have to come up with an idea as well. Hopefully I can just do it live on camera. We'll see. If not, whatever. I'll have to do it after my call with Dave. So blueprint library wise, what I want to do. Oh my goodness. Ooh, we just had an extra member come in, eh? That sucks. We're up to 408 now. I gotta close this down again. That is not what I meant to do. School recently added an annual payment feature a few months ago. And so as opposed to me having to do my big, super complicated backend thing for my communities,